Hello, welcome to White Davy Gardening and Worm Farm. If you like my channel, then please press the subscribe button. Today I am going to be planting out some stuff that can be planted outdoors. So it is the 4th of May, and as I was going through the list of the things I'm going to be growing and what can be planted outdoors when, I realized that where the carrots are concerned, I am behind because the carrots could have been planted out from the 10th of April outdoors. But anyway, I'm going to be starting some of my carrots. I'm not going to be planting them all at once because I like to have a steady harvest of crop rather than harvesting everything all at once. So here I have some Detroit dark red beets, and I have some Cylindra beets, and I have some moss curled parsley. So these can be planted outdoors now. So these I'm going to be putting into this container here, and then these two sets of trays are going to have beets. In this container I have some cornmeal and I have some cinnamon, and I will explain later what the purpose of these are. So first I'm going to start off by planting my kales, not kales but parsley. In this very small container I'm going to be putting a lot of seeds, and then I will transplant them later on. So parsley has dense foliage, which means that it has to be transplanted rather early rather than later. I'm not going to need a lot of plants, but I'm still going to need a good amount because it is a good pest repellent. And I'm just going to very lightly cover the seeds. I have already moistened the content of this bin, so I can just wet this down just a little bit to keep the seeds, or to get the seeds moist. And I want to make sure that the soil is in full contact with the seeds. So I'm gonna put this aside, and this is going to go into my greenhouse, well, into my raised bed with the cover, and it's going to stay there overnight. So until the growing season starts, this is going to be there. So now I'm going to plant the beets, and I'm going to be starting off with the Detroit. I'm just going to stick my label in there. It is getting a little bit windy, but it's good because it's a bit warm. Okay, so I think for now I'm going to put 4 seeds per cell. because I want to make sure that when it is time to transplant them out in my garden, that I have enough. Of course, I do intend to sow more seeds later on, but I still want to ensure that for the initial transplant I have a reasonable amount. Beets grow in clusters, so you may choose or choose not to separate the plants from each seeds. And that is it for my Detroit. So I'm just going to cover these over lightly. And then just firm it up. Okay, so now let's move on to the cylindra beets. These are the semi-elongated type. So I guess the name suits them very well. I'm not a very big fan of beets, to be honest, but it is very good for us, and because of that I'm growing it nonetheless. Okay, so I'm almost finished with my beets in these trays, that is. So these are going to go in the same location as the rest of plants that I'm putting in my raised bed. Because the raised bed has a cover, so it's the best place for it in case of frost. So I'm going to be watering these, but I don't want the water running on top of my greenhouse, so I'm going to have to relocate them first. So now what I'm left with is my carrots, and with the carrots goes these items. So let's get over now to my carrots. So over here I have my tulips, here I have my garlic, and so beside the garlic here I'm going to create a row for my carrots. I have grass growing in here. So I'm just going to be doing one row of carrot here. Carrots are going to be planted in raised beds, but I'm just putting this one row in my main garden. And these are my own carrot seeds that I've harvested. So carrots are biennial plants, meaning that every 2 years they will produce seeds. So what I did last year is, well, not last year but the year before, while I was harvesting the material from my garden, I did not harvest all the carrots. I allowed a few plants to remain, and so over the winter the plant died back, but then in the summer, by the time the next growing season started, the carrots started to sprout. So from, I think it was about 4 or 5 carrot plants, I now have enough seeds where I could make my entire garden, which is about 500 square feet. I have enough seeds that I could plant the entire garden with carrots from just 4 or 5 plants. So now I'm just going to cover these up very lightly. I'm going to give it a bit of water, and then I need to create a label to show me what it is and where it is that I have these carrots planted. So I'm going to be watering these garlics and tulips for the first time since this season. This is the first time I'm planting carrots outdoors so early. I usually plant on our last frost date. So cinnamon is a very good rooting hormone, but that's not the reason I'm using it here today. I'm using it because it repels ants, and I'm going to be using cornmeal in the row that I planted my carrots. They should have been in the hole before the carrots, and the purpose of the cornmeal is to attract or to distract cutworms away from my young plant. So I'm going to be putting the cornmeal there, but then ants love cornmeal and I can see quite a lot of them running around there at the moment. So because ants love cornmeal and I don't want them to eat it, because I want the cornmeal to be there for the cutworms, so I'm going to be using cinnamon, which will repel them. So I'm going to start off first by adding the cinnamon. The sad thing about cinnamon is that you have to keep putting it there, because as soon as you water it disappears. I don't really know if cutworms feed on carrots, but I'm not taking any chances. Because I'm putting out the carrots so early, the earliest I'm ever planting carrots, so I'm making sure that if cutworms do bother them, they will reach to the cornmeal before they actually get to my carrots. So as I grow my corns this year, it would be nice if I could actually grow enough where I can use some of the corns to make cornmeal, because buying cornmeal to use in the garden can be rather expensive, and with the pandemic and everything doubling in price, it would be nice. Anyway, so now I'm going to go over to my other main beetroot beds and plant some beets, but I don't think I need to show you that. Yeah, so this is me starting my outdoor gardening. Exciting, isn't it? Well, if you enjoyed my video and you would like to see more updates on what's going on in my garden, then please take a moment to give me a thumbs up. You can leave a comment in the section below. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on your notification for more updates like these. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Bye. Yeah man, it's time to grow.